So let's give you a quick rundown of the way that car computers have come. So my grandfather bought his business in 1981. So my car knowledge sort of stems back from when I was like 5 or 6 years old, taking apart carburetors in my grandfather's garage. But he used to be like a mobile tuning guy. So he used to have, at very first, he had an auto sense. Now I can't find a picture of this thing because it's that old. So I can't show you one. But then he upgraded to the Krypton Kudos System 900, which is one of these. One of them. Not a bad bit of kit, to be honest. Love it. And with that, you used to do everything old-fashioned. You'd clip on various different probes on the engine, and you'd test the emissions, and you'd check the timing, and you'd check for cylinder compensation. This was one of the very first tools that I remember seeing or using that had cylinder balance, which was just amazing. So it used to do a relative compression test, all built into the software. Then with the evolution came pre-OBD scanners and stuff like that, and this was the very first diagnostic computer I used. Slow, to say the least. Used to take little smart cards. You can see one just there, smart card on the bottom left of that cage. And you used to put a card in, plug it into the car, and then it used to give you diagnostic codes. There was no live data in them days. No live data at all. And that worked really, really well. And then we upgraded to, well, I should say it worked really, really well. It didn't. Ford fucked the software up in about 95. So from between EEC 4 and EEC 5, and there was an EEC 4.5, which is the software that actually got released. Then we upgraded to the Omni Scan. This is now made, still available actually. So some of the Land Rover guys might recognise it. It looks like one of the, I think it's the Hawkeye. I think it looks very, very similar. But it's made by Video Siemens. Not a bad bit of kit really. In its time, a bit slow again, a bit outdated now. I don't think you can get updates for it. But that was the first OBD2 scanner that I really used, which was the one with a 16 pin that was permanently 16 pin. You had to have an adapter to make it anything else. Then I left my grandfather's company. I was old enough to go ahead. I mean, some of the guys that know me know I spent a couple of years in IT, but then I went back into the motor trade. God knows why I did it. This was 2009, 2008, 2009, something like that. And the new boss at the time was looking for a diagnostic scanner, and they just released the Snap-on Verus. Fantastic tool. Showed it's about 5-6 grand. Must have been really, really good. And then I was scanning a Kia Sedona 04, 05 plate, and it had an EML light on the dash. And the Snap-on scanner said no faults found. And then our Mac rep came in with one of these. We plugged that in, and it had all the extra adapters for all the stuff that didn't use OBD. So the DS708, at that point, I was sold on Autel. Absolutely loved it to pieces. I mean, the fact is that we'd had the Snap-on rep come in, who just sold us this 5 grand Verus. And I said, look, EML light on the dash, no faults found. At which point he said, oh, it must be an ECU fault then. Then we got out this, and this was a fucking cheap tool at the time. So this was like 700 or 800 quid. Lovely bit of kit. And then we upgraded to this one, X431 Pro. Once again, really nice tablet-based wireless tool. But it had its downfalls, and it wasn't that great. But ultimately, still very, very good. And when you've got an Autel and a launch, the likelihood is you are going to smash every car that comes in, because the pair of those are fighting with each other on the market. So one of them will do something that the other one doesn't, but if it does, then the other one will release that very soon, and they'll release another feature that the other one's got to compete with. By now, we're heading up to sort of 2016, 2017, and I'm looking at buying my business. So, and when I got my business, that came with a business. Yeah? Yeah, do you know what? Watch this. Dog gets used more to open the safe, to prop the door open, open the safe, than it does to actually diagnose a car. In fact, on my other account, before it got permabanned, I had a lovely video of me walking across the workshop with it and just chucking it in the bin. This, however, this tool, Autologic Blue Box, fantastic tool. Then Opus got involved and they lost their way a little bit. And then they came back with the Assist Pro, or the Assist Plus, which then became the Assist Pro, and they started to find their way again. But in my opinion, and this is only my professional opinion, past 2015, I don't even bother with the Autologic now. The Autologic it was supposed to be dealer level for various brands. Then, because of copyright laws and pass-through coming in, they had to remove certain features. So, a good few years ago now, I bought all the genuine tools for BMW and Land Rover. So that includes Pathfinder, SDD. Back then it was ISTA D and ISTA P, but now it's ISTA Plus, I think they call it, or ISTA Workshop System. I don't know. I don't tend to pay attention. I just use it. And I'll be honest, if you're specialising in one or two brands, just don't even bother with multi-vehicle diagnostic tools. Just get the dealer tools, pay your money. The software's right. The hardware's right.